vai falar sobre o lado obscuro do CSGO, mano. 47 minutos, rapaziada. Vambora.
CSGO gambling. I think gambling is fine, but the only problem is when you have kids and...
You know, I don't know what the age limit is for people that watch me, so I'm not trying to promote that to little kids.
Being 15, 16, it got recommended to me on YouTube.
Damn!
Make sure to use my promo code to get 50 cents for free, which means you can already open your first case.
Signed via Steam. There's no verification.
In a 12-year-old's mind, big chance.
12 years old?
Yes, I was 12.
Quite safe to assume that they do not have any license, yes.
There is so much gamble promotions. I do get temptation whenever I play CSGO or watch CSGO.
You're not considered an online gambling platform. It might be a loophole, but this has existed for a long time and is the way the law is written.
That's actually one of the big driving causes of the suicides.
That is my bank
A legenda tá funcionando bem, tá?
account. 11 cents in my checking account, 48 cents in my savings account. Actually, just yesterday I spent the remaining $1,500 because I'm a degenerate gambler. How can I go to my mom and be like, hey, yeah, you know, I have no money. And the reason is because I gambled it. I don't think I could ever tell them because of how embarrassed I am of it.
So you just keep depositing and then you go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I lost control of it there. You've got to stop. You've got to, and you say you've got to stop. You've got to stop. The next day you're doing exactly the same thing.
Caralho. Fudeu.
You might have noticed I went AFK for the last 3 months, and there's a reason. In April, I have announced I will accept offers coming from CSGO gambling websites, and within just a few weeks, the highest offer I have received was €120,000 per month to promote one of these on this YouTube channel. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a real tough time because you have to decide the color of your private jet and which Lamborghini you're going to buy first. It's a real problem. But I also said I will only work with the ones that I deem trustworthy. So I started collecting data. You know, I sent them a form asking for licenses, regulations, and basically how they operate. Because I want to make sure that I'm not going to promote something that...
Pô, 120k por mês, mano? Caralho, mano. É o que eu tô falando, cara. Nossa senhora, velho. Site CSGO também era bizarro, mano. Ah, mas eles têm menos dinheiro que o Blaze. É óbvio, mano. Mas porra, velho. Era bizarro, velho. Eu acho que os caras agora, os caras tudo de CS tem milhões de carros. Os caras eram 4 milhões de casas. Porque eu dizia, porra, tá louco, velho. Porque, mano, o ponto é, o porquê, tipo, os meus manos, tá ligado? Ficaram ricos rapidão, tá ligado? Tipo, eu não vou ficar... Vocês sabem o que eu tô falando. Não preciso ficar detalhando, tá ligado? Porque no início do bagulho de sair de aposta, quando o Todinho descobriu, os caras pagavam o mesmo valor que pagava pra gringo, meu mano. Se Todinho Jabuti fazia 100 mil views naquela época e a Anomaly fazia 200 mil views, o Jabuti Todinho ganhava o valor de Anomaly, porra. Tá ligado? Tipo assim, óbvio que, tipo, o Anomaly era muito mais, mas era, tipo assim, era um valor absurdo, pô. Tá ligado? E aí, no iníciozão, tá ligado? E aí os caras foi percebendo, mano. Foi percebendo a bosta e aí mudou. Só que mesmo assim, era valor em dólar, era muito dinheiro, mano. Era muito dinheiro, velho. E tipo, isso daí veio antes de começar a vir esses bagulho de cassino, velho. Antes. E é... Assim, tô colocando como exemplo, tá? Não tô falando que, tipo, o Todinho e o Jabuti ganharam a mesma coisa com a Anomaly, não, tá ligado? E eu também, não é. Mas, tipo assim, era um valor, tipo, Porra, era um valor dólar que, pelas nossas views... Igual um view no canal de inglês, nós ganhava a mesma coisa. Era muita coisa, tá ligado? Era muita coisa pra gente, porra. O dólar, pô. Quanto que era o dólar naquela época, em 2014? Era 2. Mano, era o dobro, mano, tá ligado? Já era muita coisa. 2,40. Quase 3. Não, era 2,40, rapaziada. Hoje é muito dinheiro, pô, tá ligado? E no iníciozão da aposta era isso, velho. Os BR ganhavam a mesma coisa que o gringo ganhava, mano, tá ligado? Mas eu só coloquei com o exemplo que a Anomaly era muito absurdo, mas eu tô falando, tipo assim... Era um valor alto, tá ligado? Pra quantidade de view que nós tinha no BR, que obviamente não fazia o lucro que os caras queriam, pra um dos gringos, Como eu falei, eu já precisava fazer 100 mil, o fulano fazia 100 mil lá na gringa, ele ganhava o mesmo valor. Tá?
Would be illegal or immoral, and for example, something that would allow, you know, like 12 years old ins without any sort of verification. You would agree on saying that would be bad. I mean, imagine a world where 80% of every content around one game would promote illegal and unregulated gambling accessible to the kids just like the adults from anywhere and without any sort of verification. In 2023, that would be unthinkable, right? And this is why I am not filming this from my Lamborghini. Counter-Strike, we need to talk. And I know it's TikTok days and your attention span is probably already gone, so as a matter of fact, we have to talk about the relation between CSGO and gambling and the damages we have been ignoring for way too long. It's not what I'm supposed to do, but if I don't do it, it feels like no one else will. So be it, I have posed everything I have ongoing for the last 3 months to get here today. I'm going to show you how bad the situation is, and I'm gonna do it with the help of experts and lawyers who will appear in this video. There is a lot of information to digest, but if you care about CSGO, I think it's important to stick around to understand what's going on. In fact, this might be my most important work, so let's get you up to speed. So that's a loot box called CSGO Case. If you pay $2.50, it will open and you get a skin. They are not all the same, some look good and some don't, and the ones who look good are rare. Having cool skins, it feels nice, it's only a cosmetic thing, but you can show them to the other players, which is why everybody wants them. And because you can send this item from your account to another account, you can actually sell it to another player, which is why it holds value. There's a whole market behind this, and the most rare ones have been sold for more than $500,000.
Provavelmente ele vai falar sobre o bagulho de valor, de ficar passando pra contas aí, e que a Valve tem que parar. Não sei se ele vai falar isso, eu tô só supondo, tá ligado? Mas eu duvido que a Valve vai mexer nesse formato de open case e falar, mano, nossa, a gente vai se conscientizar e vamos parar com essa porra, tá ligado? Duvido, mano, eu duvido. Só se chegar a porra do governo batendo na porta deles, tá ligado? Com força. Mas eu acho que não, mano. Agora, parar os bagulhos de site de aposta, pode se parar. Mas os caras vão descobrir uma forma sempre, que já era pra ser banido, que a Valve falou que era pra banir. Mas sempre vai ter um formato novo pros caras conseguir, tipo, revirar isso, tá ligado? Agora, ban em plataformas vai existir, tá ligado? Twitch, YouTube vai existir.
4.5 billions, there's a whole economy behind CSGO skins. You will find marketplaces and websites allowing you to exchange them, and these companies are legit, they aren't a problem. What would be a problem is when offshore websites use these skins and trademark to enable unregulated gambling. In the previous video, I've mentioned that the presence of these websites feels overwhelming. They are advertised everywhere, and as a result, they might be a lot more popular than what you seem to think. I want to give you a bit of perspective, but I cannot say the name of this website, otherwise YouTube will think I'm promoting it. So I'm gonna call it Stackay. Stackay is the biggest online casino. You find them advertising in football and online. Recently banned from Twitch, they have created their own streaming platform that is Kick. In the month of April, Stackay registered 28 million of visits. Now, for the same period, those CSGO websites which I am tracking reached 47 million of visits, and I am not tracking them all. So when you bring them together, those CSGO websites bring almost double the traffic of the biggest online casino today. And this online casino declared a gross revenue of 2.6 billion in 2022.
Caralho, que drop, mano. Ó o que drop, velho. Ó o que drop. 16 milhão, velho. Ó o Empire, velho. 3 milhões é razoável. 16 milhão, que drop, velho.
The same period, those CSGO websites.
CSGO Fast clássico, CSGO Lucky lembro, CSGO.net, ou se for o mesmo, acho que eu sei qual que é. Skin Club eu lembro. Caralho, Skin Club já fiz vídeo pro Skin Club, já fiz. CSGO Empire, clássico, Case lembro, Roll, que drop também lembro. Case Drop eu lembro. Não, acho que não lembro, não sei se é o mesmo, mas pode ser que seja outro.
Which I am tracking reached 47 million of visits, and I am not tracking them all. So when you bring them together, those CSGO websites bring almost double the traffic of the biggest online casino today. And this online casino declared a gross revenue of 2.6 billion in 2022. Now, that doesn't mean the CSGO websites are grossing more, but it's a great element to put things in perspective. You heard about CSGO, you heard about gambling, you might think we are talking about a niche, but are we? These websites are present everywhere and at every level of the industry. It doesn't matter where you look, you will be exposed to some kind of promotion for sure, and I can show this to you. I've collected data on Twitch. This is the top 300 CSGO streamers since the beginning of this year, ranked...
Mano, já colocou a poca aqui, velho. Caralho. Toma. Os maiores, né? Da Twitch. Gaules, Montana Black, One Pixel, Nicolarm, Flon... CSGO Gambling Sponsor, no. Caralho, o Gaules não tem sponsor de gambling? Nem fudendo. Papo reto? Caralho, não tem. Isaac, ó. BT, ok, tem. Liminha Hellcase. Os BR aqui aparecendo. Ah, não, mas Clash GG deve ter vários, né? Caralho, o Gaules... Não, mas o Gaules fazia antes. Eu acho que fazia. Simple, não. É que tem que... Mano, chega num nível que não precisa, tá ligado? Não tem por que o Gaules querer, nem o One Pixel querer, tá ligado? Não tem por quê.
Data on Twitch. This is the top 300
Mas calma aí. Peak Viewers, Language, Mature, Partner, Affiliate... Ah, tá.
CSGO streamers since the beginning...
Cara, tem muito PT, velho. Tem muito PT, velho.
Of this year, ranked by watch time. It is quite a painful process, but I went and I checked how many of them are promoting that kind of stuff. Out of 300, 226 are currently sponsored by at least one of them. Some have up to 5. We are looking at 75%. Out of 4 streamers, 3 are currently promoting these websites live on Twitch. By the way, Twitch TOS are explicitly forbidding you to promote affiliate codes and links to sites that contain slots, roulettes, or dice games. And also mentions that for a gambling website to be allowed on Twitch, they take into account a US license and sufficient consumer protection. I have reached out to Twitch for a comment, but they denied. YouTube is a bit harder to analyze, but I found that 80% of...
Não agora, porque ele é grande, mas tenho certeza que o Gaules já fez, mano. Quando ele era magrinho.
The creators uploaded at least one video or one integration inside...
Você acompanhava ele em 2014, 2015? Acho que não.
The video to promote one of these websites since 2023. By the way, YouTube TOS are explicitly forbidding you to promote links to online gambling as well as any promotion to online gambling that doesn't have the Google certification. And now here's a fun fact. During the making of this video, I have uploaded a small segment so that the lawyers could watch it for me. YouTube flagged that segment for promotion.
Pô, mas tá dando strike agora no YouTube. Caralho. Jesus. Mas eu não lembro não, tá ligado? Mas acredito, mano. Todo mundo fez, tá ligado? Todo mundo CS fez. Todo mundo, velho. Todo mundo. Lá no comecinho fez. Porque, tipo, era um... Quando o Todd descobriu, virou uma loucura, tá ligado? Todo mundo. Até os pro player, até os coach. Todo mundo passou, velho. Se, tipo, sumiu agora é porque sumiu, porra. Porque tá... Desde quando teve o bagulho do Phantom Lord, bateu a água bateu no cu, tá ligado? Mas se você não tá vendo mais nada dos caras, é porque foi de delete, meu mano. Tudo, tá ligado? Eu também, quando bater a bosta da bosta 100%, como vai agora que vai começar a bater, não... Tá ligado? Mas eu não tenho vergonha de dizer, mano, que eu já fiz pra caralho, já. Canal lá em 2015 eu fiz pra porra.
Of unregulated gambling and they have a
dinheiro fácil, né? Não, cara, mas eu não tô falando, tipo, que é algo ruim dos caras, não, mano. Eu só tô falando que, tipo assim, mano... Pelo que eu lembro, olha, eu acho que eu tenho 100% de certeza. Fallen já fez, todos os próprios de SK na época, Luminosity, toda essa galera fez. Que mais? Um monte de caster também fez, o CSGO BR fez, eu lembro pra caralho. Não tô querendo falar o nome, mano, mas todo mundo, mano, tipo assim, cara. É que é fácil, mano, tá ligado? Excluir, eu não excluí, tipo, não é um problema, só tô falando, tá ligado? Eu sei que vocês querem colocar, tipo, agora no pedestal alguém que não fez, mas eu acredito que realmente... Se não fez e não tá aparecendo nada é porque meu mano só excluiu, tá ligado? Pra se pagar de super bom moço, tá ligado? Ou talvez não seja, ou talvez esteja errado. Mas é a grandíssima possibilidade, mano. E eu não tô falando que isso é algo ruim, tá ligado? Só que, tipo, mano, foi um estouro, velho. Todinho tava funcionando na internet em 2014, 2013, eu não lembro, mano. E ele achou a porra do bagulho, velho. O site era vazio, não tinha ninguém, mano. E aí ele fez promoção junto com o Jabuti, aí depois o Rato Borrachudo e foi indo, mano. Hoje você tem esses caras aí de CSGO, mano. Tá ligado? Todinho que criasse o caos no Brasil, mano. Mas sim, mano, os caras tudo comeu cocô aí, todo mundo fez os bagulho, velho. Tá ligado? Eu fiz, os moleques todo fez. Mano, a galera de Mine fazia, porra.
To my channel for promotion of unregulated gambling on a video I am making. It's been something like a month now and I don't think it's gonna go away, but you know, whatever. So Twitch, YouTube, now what about esport? A lot of pro players are also sponsored by them. You will find teams and even HLTV, which is the website everyone uses to keep track of those matches. We've just had a major in Paris, a Valve sponsored event, but we could find some sponsors on the jerseys of the players, some of which even have CSGO in their name. So if we zoom out, we are in a situation where if you're watching streamers on Twitch, almost 8 out of 10 will send you there. If you're watching YouTubers, 8 out of 10 will send you there. And if you're watching esports, it's everywhere as well. So we can agree on saying that these websites have become central to the industry. It doesn't matter where you look, you will be exposed to them for sure. I have not introduced the main players yet, so here's a quick overview. Here's one of them. This one is very popular. For the first time, I will log into the website. So first of all, I click on sign in. I agree, of course. Sign in through Steam. Sign in. Alright, and just like that, I'm already in. Now you see, they have what they call cases, and they all have a price. If you want to open them, you have to deposit. So, refill, I can deposit with credit card, paysafe card, PayPal.
Então, na época que a gente fazia, não tinha essas porra de, tipo, poder colocar, tipo, dinheiro mesmo, tá ligado? Esse é o ponto. Era você depositar skin, mano. Tá? Era depositar skin. Essa era a diferença. Não tinha, mano, tá ligado? É aí que começou a ficar foda, mano. Ó. Eu juro por Deus, mano. Cadê? Esse bagulho, quando começou, você tem que colocar, pode colocar o seu próprio dinheiro, é foda, tá ligado?
E não quero gastar, peguei os
É meio, eu entendo que isso daí pode ser um BO do BO,
Galera,
mano.
tô aqui no depósito.
É maior do maior. Aí, ó.
Aqui tá as minhas skins, boladão, que eu peguei no site, ó.
É, só podia depositar, mano, nessa época só podia depositar skin, mano. Foi depois disso que começou a dar bosta, mano.
PayPal, crypto, Google Pay, or even CSGO skins. In which case, they will credit my account with the value of my...
CSGO Magic foi absurdo, começou por aí. Não foi pro CSGO Magic que começou, não. Calma aí, CSGO Magic começou esse bagulho de dinheiro? Dinheiro mesmo? Agora, de começar de aposta não foi CSGO Magic, não. Foi CSGO... Pô, não sei se ainda existe. Não sei se é o verdadeiro, mas era CSGO... Acho que era CSGO.net, só que era a versão antigão, mano. Que era só uma roleta, tipo, você colocava sua skin e tinha porcentagem de chance. Só isso.
If I click on this button, I'm gonna spend $6, something's gonna spin, and this is the odds inside the case. Alright, click. I've got myself $3. Now I can either sell it right away and get the balance back, or gamble it again. Everything is designed to facilitate the gambling of your winnings. When I click on upgrade, I am sent here. This is what I've just unboxed. Now I select on how risky I want it to be, let's say 2x, and I have 43% chance to double it.
Não vai, mano. Não.
Oops. Well, I've lost everything, but at least I'm getting better. Near miss. Yeah, once again, I was very close, but not quite. So how much is that sold for? $1? So this is one of them, but there's many more, and they all have their own differences. Some will allow you to cash out in skins, some will allow crypto, some of them only have cases, and some others have other stuff like roulette, plinko, crash, mines. Essentially, they have a whole variety of game modes, which as far as I can tell, I would describe as gambling, which actually raises the question, what is considered gambling in the eyes of the law?
My name is Michele Magro. I'm a regulatory lawyer from Malta. I spent 9 years working with regulators, especially the gambling authority in Malta.
Michele worked 9 years at a gambling commission, and through his work he has become very knowledgeable on what's happening around gambling regulations.
Traditional definition is that gambling normally consists of 3 parts, right? Which is the consideration. So the consideration is that you're staking money. You're basically putting money on the line.
Okay.
The second part is the element of chance. So basically, there's a random event. Third one is prize, right? So basically, you're getting something back of monetary value.
So in the case of CSGO websites, am I fulfilling those 3 things? Consideration? Yes, I am depositing money. Chance? Yes, I can even see the odds. And the price? Well, yes, and I can even cash out in crypto for some of them. Yet somehow they are telling me that they are not gambling operations.
Isso que é foda, mano.
If I have a license, if my website is licensed.
Começou a se quebrar misso, né, mano? Tem que colocar dinheiro mesmo, né, mano? Aí matou mesmo. Por isso que começou a dar mais merda, então. Eu acho que se fosse só skin mesmo, estaria mais de boa. Não, é cripto, é foda. Não, mas daí eu tava ligado a cripto também. É, não, mas é foda mesmo.
Am I obligated to show it?
Cara, a Twitch, eu acho que a Twitch banindo essa porra agora 100%, o YouTube vai começar a banir 100%, mas aí fudeu, velho.
Have to appear somewhere?
Aí os caras se fudeu,
yes. Most European countries have very specific rules about showing your license on your website.
If I'm on a website right now and I do not see any kind of license being shown, is it safe to assume that they don't actually have any license?
Quite safe to assume that they do not have any license, yes.
Oh, yeah. When I started to look for offers, I asked those websites to fill a form so I could learn about their licenses, their practices, and essentially how they operate. As you might imagine, gambling, much like alcohol or cigarettes, is heavily regulated. You can't just do anything with it. There's a lot of rules that exist in how it's promoted and how it exists in the first place. Of course, I knew that some of these websites will be the shadiest that exist. But I would just imagine that they're not all the same. You know, like if they work with so many big names and big orgs in the scene, it has to be within some kind of regulation. Surely, you cannot run an international gambling operation without any kind of license. I hope you would agree with me there. So I had to document myself on what a legal practice looks like.
So there is normally a body, usually government run, that basically makes sure that you're complying with the law that applies to gambling companies. For example, in some countries, you are required to connect directly with an IT system owned by the government, where basically every data that passes through your system is actually sent to the government.
There's no worldwide or EU regulation, which is why different countries have different rules. But in every case, these rules are making sure that the gambling operator...
Próprio online gambling license regulations 21. Licensing, multi-licensing, makes it the partial multi-licensing, monopólio e regulado só que pode países daqui?
Provides a sufficient effort...
Aí fudeu, não sei que porra é essa daqui não, rapaziada. Que país aí?
To filter their customers. Now I'm asking you, do you believe a Steam login with no registration qualifies as a best effort?
You have responsible gambling requirements, where basically the operator is required to analyze the patterns of your gambling behavior and react accordingly to how you are betting. So if they detect that potentially you have a gambling addiction, for example, some triggers might be that you're chasing your losses. So you deposit 50 euros, you lose your money instantly, you deposit another 50 euros because you're trying to win them back. That's called chasing your losses. So that is something that a gambling operator, a licensed gambling operator, should make sure to detect, so they can take action to stop you from playing further.
They have to analyze how you bet, how you deposit, how old you are, what time of the day you normally play. And there's a lot of triggers that could make them block your account to make sure you are gambling with money you can afford to lose. Essentially, they are held responsible to protect their player base from the product they are selling to that player base. Now, what about KYC or verification?
Different regulations actually have different ways on when KYC should be performed. Proper term is verification. So basically you put in your details and your details are verified against government issued documents. In most regulated countries, because verification takes place at an early stage on registration, then basically someone who's under 18 basically has very little chance of actually accessing the website.
To make this easier for you, I've made this map. If you live in a country that is blue, a legal operator will be forced to ask and verify your identity upon registration. It can be passport, EID, fiscal number, or anything that will prove your identity and thus your age. And this will have to be verified before you get to access the website.
Then there's also the elephant in the room, which is taxes. If you're an online gambling operator or a gambling operator in general, you're normally asked to pay GGR-based tax. So that's taxes, additional taxes on your revenue. In some countries, this can go up to 30% of your GGR. There's rules on how you advertise. There's rules on how you issue bonuses. And if unregulated gambling companies...
Cara, acho que tu foi... Tu foi memear bagulho de beat, mano. Tu flodou muito, foi mutado, velho. Desculpa, mano.
You know, violate these rules, there are no consequences.
No consequences. That seems like an enticing reason to not bother doing things the right way, don't you think? Does that mean they are operating illegally? I will leave this conclusion to you. As for me, I kept looking for clues deeper and deeper because I would find it genuinely hard to believe that 80% or more of every creators and companies in the scene are promoting unregulated gambling.
My name is Daniel Lehman. I'm an esports lawyer with lawyer in Denmark, based in Denmark, also a Norwegian lawyer. I work within tech, esports, IP, and marketing. I advise players, organizations, tournament organizations, investors, sponsors, like the full circle all around. And I've also worked with several esports organizations who was asked by betting companies to be sponsors. So I have insight of this world. In Denmark, we have this called the Danish Gambling Authorities. You must obtain this license from, it's called Spilmyndighederne, but the Danish Gambling Authority. And if you don't have the license, then you wouldn't be operating legally in Denmark. Like one of the things you have to make sure of as a content creator is this online casino actually licensed by the Danish Gambling Authorities? If they're not licensed, then you have a huge problem.
Não, mas óbvio que nenhum é. A gente sabe disso desde Pô, desde lá atrás, mano. Lá atrás, nos começos do bagulho de sair de aposta não era o Shuffle, cara. Era os... Cara, uma coisa skins, CSGO skins.
This illegal promoting of online casinos that is definitely not allowed in Denmark without license.
Tá.
So that will be illegal for you to do, and you will also be fined personally.
Some will allow them to exist if and only if they have a country-delivered license. So to service these countries, you must have a license delivered by this country specifically. Now, of course, you're not trying to be an expert in gambling regulations, so let me show you this map and oversimplify it for you. It shows the gambling licensings in Europe. Gambling is a broader term and includes poker, betting, and online casinos. Everything in green here means that for you to service any of these countries, you will have to submit to each one of their licensings and respect their different set of rules. And in some cases, while betting is allowed, online casino might not be.
Je suis maître Paul Le Tartre, je suis avocat français au barreau des Hauts-de-Seine. Je travaille principalement sur des sujets liés aux données personnelles, contrats informatiques, juridiques, relatifs aux nouvelles technologies.
Porra, até o bagulho de marketing era um scam, velho. Não sei o que eles fizeram, um bagulho mó pesado lá. Os bots deles foram tudo banidos e ficou milhares e milhares e milhares e milhares e milhares de milhões de dólares de skins presas nas contas banidas, tá ligado? Os bots, mano, deu uma merda essa porra. Era um monte de Dragon Lore banida, velho. Um monte. Porque você deixava lá no bot e você deixava no market, tá ligado? Pra vender, pra depois ganhar dinheiro. Mano, foi um monte de skin, mano. De Dragon Lore. Nossa senhora, cara. Tá até hoje lá, velho, nos bots banidos.
La loi française, elle est vraiment très claire sur ce point. C'est que quiconque fait de la publicité par quelque moyen que ce soit en faveur d'un site de paris ou de jeux d'argent et de hasard, non autorisé en vertu d'un droit exclusif ou d'un agrément, est puni d'une amende de 100 000 €. Cette publicité, même si c'est fait à travers des liens d'affiliation ou des liens de parrainage, elle est interdite.
For now, the situation seems very simple. If you don't have the country-delivered license, you are not allowed to...
Mano, que é essa porra aqui, velho?
Service and advertise in this country. But you can access the CSGO websites from most, if not all, the countries. So what the hell is going on? Well, it turns out that, allegedly, they might not be registered as online casinos after all. This is CSGO Roll by Traffic, currently the second biggest CSGO.
Eu já fiz vídeo pro CSGO Roll. Deixa eu dar uma olhada. Acho que não, velho. Não sei. Eu já recebi proposta, mas não sei se eu fiz, velho, na época. Não, o Todinho que fez. Eu quase fiz, na real. Isso foi há 6 anos. Quanto que é 6 anos aqui? 2017? Não, acho que foi 2016 daqui. É, 2016.
Nossa, tá dando preto de...
É, CSGO Roll, o Todinho já fez. Cara, eu acho que eu já postei muito CSGO Roll, mas nunca fui parceiro.
O Droid tá matando todo mundo, velho. Que isso, mano?
Olha eu aqui. Nossa, Six, Bop, Pedro de Todd. Caralho. Do outro lado era quem?
Fala, galera, beleza?
Não, Jabuti. Mano, caralho, era tipo um monte de gente, velho. O Fozer tá ali. Calma aí, o Fozer tá ali? Eu tô louco. Nossa, o Fozer, mano. Nem fudendo.
Vai, Dodinho, vai. Acho que não foi dessa.
Nossa, isso daqui é... Nossa, Aldroid... Caralho, era muita gente, mano. Aldroid, João KK. Perdi, mano. What the fuck, velho. Você tá falando que o cara ali falou do streamer, não sei quem que tá falando. Mano, todo mundo fez, mano. Só que alguns excluíram vídeo, velho. Papo reto. Excluíram vídeo, excluíram voz, excluíram tweet. Só pelo bem maior. Os caras que tá no meio de CS, é ruim pra eles essa porra, tá ligado? Os caras só excluem, meus manos. Tipo assim, eu não tô querendo ser chato, não, mas é foda. Se não encontrar nada de... Mano, se vocês não encontrar mais nada de bagulho de pro player de CS antigão, velho, dos melhores aí, que ganhou um monte de Major, velho, é porque os caras só excluiu, tá ligado? É foda, porque os caras, tipo, tá no meio, então, tipo, isso vai começar a bater na bunda, mano, e, tipo, eles vão ter que tirar, tá ligado? Sumir com essa porra.
I mean, that's the
Bob Gameplay, Bob era muito foda.
If you go on CSGO role, the
Eu amava o
website
Bob.
will redirect
Ele era
you to
muito
the
engraçado,
marketplace.
mano.
So, fair enough, just to make sure, I created a Steam account called IM14, by the way.
Não, mas é que não... Ô, Anthony, no começo, velho, não era um problema, por quê? Você não colocava dinheiro, você colocava... Sim, você gastava pra abrir caixa no CS, beleza, tá ligado? Mas você pegava as suas skins, o próprio do CS colocava skins do CS. Era dinheiro, era, mas explicitamente era skin no joguinho, tá ligado? E os sites não eram, no início, não era tão scam. Óbvio que era scam, mas não era tanto, porra, tá ligado? Eu ganhei muito dinheiro com o CS, cara. Eu ganhei muito dinheiro com o CS, cara. Muito dinheiro com o CS. Não só, tipo, de aposta, mas de aposta, tipo assim, de aposta, tipo, patrocínio. Mas de apostar, foda-se em site, velho. Tá ligado? A gente lembra uma vez que o Drizzy, com o código do Jabuti no CSGO Empire, ele tirou uma Dragon Lore Factor New, porra. Ele apostou... Na época lá, 2000 bolinha, apostou e saiu com uma Dragon Lore Factor New, cara. Existe esse mundo, pô. Tá ligado? Ele pegou, era o cupom de Jabuti no CSGO Empire, não sei quanto que era. Era pouquíssimo, era tipo $1, $2, não sei. Ele saiu com uma Dragon Lore Factor New na época, pô. O Drizzy, pô. Pode perguntar isso pra ele, pô. Ele saiu com essa porra. Naquela época ali, tipo, era um scam, mas não era tanto, tá ligado? Como agora. É que, pô, essa porra foi mudando, aí colocaram dinheiro, aí é foda mesmo, tá ligado? Já dá pra ver que o bagulho tá indo pra merda. No começo os caras só queriam farmar o bagulho de CS. É óbvio que, tipo, tinha uma porcentagem. Tinha código que dava caixa grátis. É, não, mas, mano, essa história não é fake não, mano. Não é fake não. Tá ligado? Vocês podem um dia, se ele ficar lá e perguntar. Calma aí. Não sei se o Driz tá fazendo... Não sei se o Driz tá fazendo live, mas se ele fizer live aí, vocês perguntam, mano. Não sei se foi com o código do Jabuti ou do Todinho, mano, mas foi pro algum aí.
And I logged on CSGO Role. I used their marketplaces feature.
Não, era um scam, mas sim, mas era bem menos, tá ligado? Era scam, continuava sendo scam. Tudo era scam. Mano, o site de aposta é scam, você vai perder, tá ligado? Mas era bem menor, mano.
CSGO Role is a gambling website. To which they replied, hey, CSGO Role isn't recognized as a gambling website, it's a skin trading platform.
Ah, tá.
Let's zoom out
pra não levar ban da Valve.
To make sure we are all looking at the trading features of the trading platform. What is this thing? Alright, let's see.
Sim, que pode gastar.
I guess I won.
Com certeza.
So I asked, does that mean the service provided by...
O dinheiro que você tá ali pra não te fuder, tá ligado? Agora o bagulho da skin, mano, era só skin, velho. Sei lá, mano. Você, tipo assim, era tipo assim, vamos lá. Tá ligado? Você tem você já jogando CSGO, você jogou o CSGO por uma semana. Dropou um monte de caixa. Na caixa, na época, cada caixa valia $1. Você colocava lá todas as caixas que tu tinha, tu ganhava tipo uns $15. Tu apostava os $15, tá ligado? Era isso. Na semana. E nos $15, às vezes virava $100 e tu tinha uma faca, pô. Era essa porra, velho. Tá ligado, chat? Era essa porra. Pelo menos na nossa época, eu e os moleques era isso. É, mas é isso mesmo, ADM. Não sei como que tá hoje, tá ligado? Mas é porque eu parei 100%. Depois tem que perguntar pro Jabuti. Falar, Jabuti, vem cá aqui e me explica essa porra como que é atualmente. Mas era essa porra. Agora as caixas de CSGO valem muito mais agora. Muito mais. Tá ligado? Muito mais. Então, se eu apostasse 62k. É, então. A Karine ia perder tempo. Ia ela acabar com todo o dinheiro da família. O dela da família. Eu falo, caralho, eu gastei todo o meu dinheiro, agora eu vou dar família. Mas, deixa eu guardar as caixas. Eu dei todas as minhas caixas pro Titânio numa época. Era tipo umas 100 caixas e ele abriu as caixas, tá ligado? Mas se eu tivesse... Mano, eu tinha muita caixa da Asimov, tá ligado? Pô, papo reto, mano. É doloroso pra caralho pra mim ter vendido minhas skins, mano. e saber que, tipo, eu tinha uma carambite que ela vale, tipo, 10 mil... Acho que era quanto? 30 mil dólares. Porque ela tinha 60% de azul. E meu inventário varia, tipo, 60, 80 mil dólares, tá ligado? Ah, não, mano, isso me machuca, mano. Além do scan que eu levei do árabe, né? Que os árabes davam muito scan.
CSGO role is not gambling related? They took a while to reply and they said CSGO role is strictly recognized as a skin trading platform. They didn't even worry about the fact that my account was created the day before and it was called IM14 by the way. But to be fair, why would they worry about this if after all they are a skin
80k de dólares, sou. 80k de dólares.
Trading platform? CSGO Role currently sponsors G2, one of the biggest esport organization. And as such, CSGO Role was also present at the major in Paris. So how does a strictly recognized as a skin trading platform advertises in Paris? By putting a slot machine.
Caralho! Ah não! Ah não!
Hosting and providing online gambling comes with a ton of regulations, from AML to player protection, players verification, KYC, taxes, and on top of it, you're not even able to provide service to every country unless you have a license in each one of them. Now you ask me, that sounds like a pain in the ass. So what if there was a way to provide the same service, but get rid of those annoying obligations?
So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. I've done this for Train and a few others.
Trainwreck.
Answering, I guess.
É óbvio que é sempre o Trainwreck. É óbvio, né, mano? Quem mais não, né?
I've done this for Train and
a few others. Óbvio que é seu wreckzinho, né? Que quiseres.
I guess our perspective, at least from the business side. And I have no issue with being recorded. I want to make that completely.
Meet Hobbs. He is the owner of Clash.gg.
Tá.
His identity will remain anonymous for...
Clash.gg, ele fez, acho que fez uns patrocínios pro Friends D ou pro Dizzy? Quem vai saber é o Lucanjo. Lucanjo, o Clash.gg ele fez pro Friends D ou ele fez pro Dizzy? Um amigo do X, eu não lembro, mano, mas isso daí há pouco tempo tava forte esse Clash.gg.
Obvious reasons,
eu dei umas olhadas.
Hobbs has a different approach to this. While every other website that I've contacted ran away from me like the stinky French boy I am, Hobbs reached out so we could have a chat. He agreed to be recorded and to respond to my questions.
Gaming law, especially international gaming law, is so complicated. Different ways that you can interpret it. For example, specifically, Clash...
O que esse cara deve ter de dinheiro é doideira, né, mano? O que esse meu mano deve ter de... Puta que pariu, velho. Não tem streamer que tem, mano. Não tem streamer que tem, velho. Atualmente, no máximo Ninja, que ganhou milhões lá, ou X. Não tem, mano. Tá louco, cara. Meu Deus do céu. Não deve ter nem mais graça a vida, pô. Não deve, porra. Sei lá, mano. O que ele vai fazer? Vai comprar um ingresso pra nave quando o planeta começar a acabar? Só isso. Vai servir pra isso, porque de resto...
an online gambling platform, right?
Dinheiro honesto, graças a Deus.
Site, which allows us to operate within the US. Yeah, that's in the US. I'm happy to send you our...
Se for pra ver, mano, também, na época do CSGO... Mano, ó, eu lembro. É porque era um site muito grande e eu tinha uma parceria mensal, tá ligado? Era o CSGO Diamonds. Era esse daqui. Eu falava sempre com o dono, tá ligado? Deixa eu ver se ainda existe. Era esse daqui, ó. Mas acabou, tá ligado? Ele é gigante, mas é que esse daqui é uma conta fake. Ele é um dos maiores, ele foi banido. Tipo, tava lá na lista, né? Da Valve, ele foi banido. Esse site aqui... Tipo assim... Eu já ganhei muito dinheiro. Além de parceiro. E ganhei muito dinheiro em conta, tipo, pra testar. E, tipo, era scam, mas era pouco, tá ligado? Esse site aqui, cara... na época tava ficando maior que o Empire. O Empire era o maior, eu acho. Empire era maior junto com o outro lá de troca. Era tudo árabe, mano. Tudo árabe. O cara do CSGO era árabe, não sei se o Empire nunca soube. O cara do Skin Monkey era árabe. O cara que, tipo, era o agente nosso pra bagulho de site de aposta que me deu scan era árabe. É tudo árabe, velho. Você vê hoje os caras aí, tipo... Os jogadores de futebol indo lá pra time os árabes lá. Mano, os caras têm dinheiro infinito, mano. Os caras têm dinheiro infinito, velho. Tá ligado? É bizarro, velho. E tipo, mano, eles podem, mano. O cara chega e falava, mano, toma aqui, mano. Vou te dar 20 mil dólares, mano, tá ligado? Faz esse site aqui pra nós, tá ligado? Porque os caras têm dinheiro a rodo, mano. E aí tu vê, tipo, os bagulho de site de cassino também, é árabe também, mano. Tá ligado? A Blaze que não é, mas os que tá investindo nesses bagulho de cassino é árabe. Aí os caras que quer fazer uns investimentos, bagulho de TikTok de kawaii e de ação... Você vai ver, é outro árabe, mano. Ou é um brasileiro que mora nos árabes, tá ligado? É muito doideira essa porra, mano. Mas o Diamond era árabe. Não sei, o outro lá que eu fiz também era árabe. O Skin Monk era árabe também. Era tudo árabe os caras. Tudo, mano, porra, não sei, cara. Porra, não deve ter mais graça a vida dos caras, mano. É loucura, a máfia por trás disso é gigante, mano.
We stand.
E eu levei scan de árabe, eu e o Todinho de Obtir.
Put them out there, they can receive
Os caras ainda têm dinheiro pra caralho, eu fui lá e me escamou, pegou mais.
We're extremely confident in their validity.
So to break it down for you, according to the owner of Clash, Clash.gg is allowed to exist because it isn't a gambling casino. Because every 30 minutes, free coins are handed out to everyone present on the site. The players can access the end.
Sim, então, esse 2016 eu acho que bateu 2016 ou 2017? Não, 2018. Quando que bateu o bagulho do Phantom Lord? Só ficou caixa, né? Eu acho que até uma certa época tinha tudo, depois ficou caixa e depois voltou, tá ligado? Por causa do ban da Valve.
Entirety of the website for free. There is no obligation to deposit, thus they are not a gambling operation.
You pay the price for that, definitely. We give out tens and tens of thousands of dollars that comes out to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to the players, but it allows us to not be a casino in the eyes of the
That's what to me looks like a loophole, like actually a crazy loophole. That just because you have like a free feature that eventually gives out a few cents every now and then, you are allowed to get away by saying you're not a gambling, even though that's what we've been discussing so far. You are.
É muito falho o sistema mesmo.
Like
we aren't under the eyes of like.
Yeah, like I understand like the legal stance is that you guys aren't, but like. That doesn't make sense to me. Is how.
É esse mesmo. Esse é o do. É esse o Clash GG. É esse Clash GG é o do Franz G atualmente do Dizzy. É esse mesmo. Eu lembrei dessa telinha aqui. É, com certeza, com certeza. Eu não tô louco. Porque o Franz G eu acompanho muito, mano. Ele é muito engraçado. É esse daí mesmo. Certeza, velho. Eu vi no vídeo atual dele. É que o Lucan já acho que tá editando o vídeo. Acho que nem deve estar prestando atenção no chat. Deve estar só com o chateirinho aberto. É esse mesmo, é óbvio que era esse, pô. Então esse daqui é um scanzão federal, esse daqui então também. Não, mas ele fala sempre que tem um sistema normal, mas ele não tá falando que é um scan na real, o maluco aqui do vídeo. Ele só tá falando que, tipo, é um site de aposta, tá ligado? De gambling. Bom, ok.
It's so obvious that it's a loophole, you know, it's a technicality. And not just Clash, like everybody else is with their marketplace bullshit as well. It blows my mind that there's no organization, no regulation, you know, that comes in and say,
well,
no.
I mean, part of the way you got to see it is this is the way the law was written. Like it might be a loophole, but this has existed for a long time and is the way the law is written to allow for like sweepstakes opportunities for people like, for example, like you can win this car for free in an ad. You know what I mean? Like, like just by texting so-and-so to the number, blah, blah, blah. Like that is free entry. And then like, down the line, you might have a better chance if you go into the dealership and you buy so-and-so to win this car. But at the same time, like these laws themselves have been used for decades, right?
Caralho, é engraçado de ouvir isso, velho.
Chance-based
É engraçado de ouvir isso,
play,
mano.
if you will.
Some will say they are marketplaces, some will say they are skin trading websites, and some will say they are free-to-use websites. My point is that none of them is actually saying that they are an online gaming platform for a reason. And mind you, we talked about Clash or CSGO role, but I need you to understand I am targeting the system as a whole. Yes, we talked about CSGO role because their sponsorship with G2 put them on the front row, and we've talked about Clash because the owner was willing to talk to me, which again I respect. But the point I'm making here is that we should not be focusing on one or two websites specifically. I could have picked anyone on the
Skinbox, CSGO Big ainda existe. Hellstore. É que, caralho, o Hellstore é o Hellcase, né? Eu tô louco. É. Caralho, essas porra ainda existe, velho. Eu achava que foi bonito na época lá, velho. Essas porra são muito antigas, mano.
Caralho. One of them is currently showing
Dead Skins. Tenho Dead Skins, mano. Ô, vou apostar um Dead Skins agora em live, hein?
Not
Não, calma aí, eu quero ver o Dead Skins,
two
mano.
websites specifically. I could have picked
Caralho, Dead Skin tem 174 mil visitas no mês, é isso? Fala do Dead Skins, porra. Daddy.
anyone
Come here,
on that
Daddy.
list, and the
I want
same
some
could have been
skins.
said. Not a single one of them is currently showing a valid gambling license. Not a single one. In the case of, I believe they have a Curaçao license. Does that mean with just this license and this license alone, they are, you know, allowed?
É o
to
Daddy,
exist and
porra.
service
Tem que
every
confiar.
country?
Não, vou abrir agora. Vamos
Unless there
apostar.
is literally no laws in the country. Gambling law generally applies country by country. So if the Netherlands write a law on gambling, then whatever happens to Dutch customers would be subject to Dutch law. So if Dutch law says you need to have a Dutch license, then a Curaçao license would not be sufficient to accept Dutch customers.
Look at this one here. It doesn't even have cases. It's a website where you log in with your Steam account, deposit with the usual payment methods, but you can also use crypto and CSGO skins, and then you can gamble with the money you deposited. You have the classic roulette, a bigger roulette, some kind of...
É, eu acho que o maior problema mesmo é os caras colocar próprio dinheiro, velho. Tem que ir com skin, velho. Já é um problema mesmo ser com skin também, mas, mano, o dinheiro é foda, velho. Porque virou que nem o Blaze, pô. É como se fosse a Blaze, tá ligado? Só que você pode pegar skin depois pro CS, tá ligado? Virou a Blaze, pô. Tá ligado? Só que com os formatos diferentes de gambling, tá ligado? Não, a mesma coisa também, as minas, a mesma porra. É, velho. Ficou, mano, caralho, é true, velho.
And it's not so much relying on the CSGO skins. I am depositing dollars, I am gambling dollars, my winnings are shown in dollars. But then, if I want to cash out, I can only do it in CSGO skins. And today, it is crazy
Deve
to
merecer
think
top
about,
1,
but
claro que não.
almost 8 out
Mano,
of
o Daddy só não é top 1 porque é um nome meio complicado, tá ligado? Papo reto. Papo reto mesmo.
10 of every content creators in the scene are promoting websites like that to any kind of audience. If you are a gambling operator, you are forced to verify the identity of every customer you service. That's a problem, and on top of it, you are losing out on a lot of customers. That being said, if you are an exclusively recognized as a skin trading platform, you no longer have to filter your customers, everyone is welcome in. So, do you have a Steam account, and are you able to click on a box? Great, that's all you need. To the question, how old were you when you first gambled in CSGO? 70.8% of you were underaged.
2014 eu tinha quantos anos? 2013. Tinha 14 anos. Aqui, ó. Tô aqui, ó. Dos 14%.
You when you first gambled in CSGO, 70.8% of you.
Caralho, mano, eu fazia patrocínio de sair de aposta, eu já meti o Todd. Não, o Todd tava quase fazendo. Acho que o Jabuti tava com 16. O Todd deve estar com 18, né? Ele tava com 18 na época. Caralho, velho. Eu fazia vídeo de aposta com 14. Não, 14 não. 2013? É, 14, 15. Caralho. Caralho, muito foda, mano. Caralho, nossa, tempos que, tipo, mano, ninguém via problema em nada, mano. Óbvio que eram os tempos que o preconceito tava em alta, né, mano? Mas, caralho, puta que me pariu, mano.
Underaged.
Live de nerd. Se você fosse nerd, se você achasse que a live fosse de nerd, você não ia mandar nerd. Porra. Estúpido.
This isn't coming out of nowhere.
Você ia mandar um nerd. Horroroso.
Let me show you how easy it is.
Okay, let's go.
To prove my... Nowhere. Let me show you how easy
Mas que não é promoting, deixa eu ver. Tá bom.
Okay, let's go.
To prove my case, I have created a brand new Steam account, and because I'm fair, I called it I'm 14, by the way, to make it very obvious and easy for them. So now I want to gamble, and it turns out I am 14, which, saying this out loud makes me realize that it's not even half my age now. I will begin by Keydrop, currently the one with the most visits. By themselves, they represent 35% of the entirety of the traffic generated.
Qual site mesmo que falou?
Half my age now. I will begin by Keydrop, currently
o Keydrop.
The one with the most
Ah, quantos? 18 milhões, né?
Visits by themselves, they represent 30.
Mano, 16 milhões. O cara tá quase pau a pau com o stake, velho. Caralho.
35% of the entirety of the traffic generated by the CSGO website. In fact, they have a very aggressive marketing strategy right now, and this is why 25% of the top 300 CSGO streamers are directly sponsored by Keydrop. With an average player count showing between 15 and 20,000 players at the same time, I am able to log in with just my Steam account. Keydrop is confirmed that yes, I am 18 years old, of course.
Damn.
I am 14, by the way. Right after, I am linked to a deposit page where I can either pay by skins or put my credit card. I decide to use my credit card because the skins will be too easy for sure. There goes 50 euros, and just like that, I am 14, by the way.
Caralho, 20 pra minha cabeça, mano.
It took me 2 clicks to log in, 5 to deposit, and that's it. Within just a few minutes, most of it is gone because I'm not lucky with my trades. And when I try to cash out what's left of it, I see a pretty
Imagina uma gama Doppler.
I would typically put my trade URL and then press the green button. But that green button is here to tell you, you can open a free case if you change your Steam profile picture to their logo. That way you will promote them to your friends on Steam. And if you do, you can come back every day and open a case for free. Obviously, these cases are abysmal and they got me like 5 cents. But the point is to get you to come back. The more you do, the more likely you are to deposit again. So I tried some others, and all I have to do is to sign in through Steam. I don't even have to create an account, and they all have a ton of payment methods to make sure I can deposit. Have a look at the typical experience. Top right corner, sign in through Steam, and now I have to click on 2 little boxes. And that's it, I am in. Now I get to enjoy the many features of the site, just like my favorite pro player or YouTuber showed me. And if I don't have a credit...
Quem é?
Features of the site.
Quem é esse cara? Ah, mano, ele blurs over.
It's just like my favorite pro player or YouTuber showed me. And if I don't have a credit card, no problem. I can use my CSGO skins or pay safe.
Caralho,
I can log into any of these websites with my freshly created I am 14 by the way Steam account. Are we really going to pretend that putting a plus 18 over there is enough to prevent the young one from accessing the website? This is a roulette, literally the symbol of online casino and gambling. Now look, I'm gonna Google casino. What's the first thing I see? A fucking roulette. But the website is not a casino, or at least not regulated one. So all the kids are welcome to taste some roulette. And again, if you don't have a credit card, that's not a problem. Generally though, their UI is garbage.
É horroroso mesmo.
Nossa,
CSGO Fest! Esse mesmo, CSGO Fest antigo pra caralho, mano.
Though their UI is garbage.
Posso dizer que já recusei CSGO Fest, porque eu achava horroroso. Nossa, CSGO Fest ainda existe esse lixo? Essa porra é BR, não é? É BR essa porra? Ou é não? Não é gringo, é gringo. Caralho, CSGO Fest ainda existe, louco. É o que, mano? Eu abri aqui e vou levar banho. Nossa, que layout horroroso até hoje, cara. Vômito. Nossa.
Cramped with moving stuff everywhere, showing you what other players have won in real time. This one is about pizzas somehow. And
Pizza?
Plays epic music whenever I open stuff. So this is the kind of stuff that
até música da Brinco Caixa, é muito foda.
Creators in the scene are promoting. What year is this? 2015? Hello? We know the esport demographic is very young. How many of them are watching their favorite pro player aspiring to become one?
É que eu tô falando, mano.
Have an influence.
É que ele conseguiu achar os atual, mano. Todo mundo passando essa porra, velho. Toda a galera de CS fez, mano. Porra, fez sem dó, mano.
And some people, some look up to you.
Não só a galera de CS, mano. A galera de Mine que pulou pro CS só pra fazer também. Não vou citar nome, mas... Tem amigos nossos, até conhecidos, galera grande atualmente. Também fez, mano. Galera que tá... Porra, real, mano. Real, papo reto, velho.
So when you promote a website, they can access with just their Steam account, no ID verification.
Só que hoje não deve ter mais nada pra encontrar.
Code that might give them stuff for free to get them hooked. Are you really going to sit there and tell me that you really believe they won't partake?
Pior que nessa época de CS, mano, muita gente, tipo, mano, muita galera, mano, que é muito conhecida hoje, tá ligado? Por muita coisa, falava muito com a gente, mano, porque a gente tinha, tipo, contato de tudo, velho. Eu lembro dessa porra. Tem umas pessoas que... Eu até me arrependo de não ter ouvido do Todinho e do Jabuti, mano, tá ligado? Que, tipo, os meus manos Foco pela metade. Não, mano, não vou ficar citando nome, não vou ficar criando drama não, cara. Eu só tô conversando bagulho, velho. Pra mim, menos drama melhor, velho. Só quero viver em paz, só tô comentando. O bagulho é que, tipo... O foda mesmo é que o Todinho já me avisava, mano. Tinha uma galera que, tipo... Dava pra ver que, tipo, mostrava como amizade, eu acreditava que era uma amizade, mas meus manos só estavam ali pra contato, velho. E eu, porra, eu lembro que, tipo, eles eram bem maiores que eu. E eles, tipo, passavam os contatos e eles conseguiam os patrocínios. Depois, ó, show. Foi, tipo, bem essa porra. É por isso que é foda, mano, tá ligado? É por isso que é foda também, mano. Galera, mano, a galera realmente, quando vê a oportunidade, mano, não perde nem tempo, mano. Ela que é foda. Até hoje, mano. Eu duvido que até hoje deve fazer a mesma coisa.
18 in the corner. Some of you don't even bother putting it.
Tem um jeito
Counter-Strike. What the fuck is going on? What are we doing? Have a look at this conversation with one of these websites. He's saying that they aren't gambling, but case opening, which is literally gambling, and then goes on to say that they don't need to KYC because it's not regular practice, so doing it would make them lose money because no one else does it, so they don't do it either. However, in case of withdraw, especially big amount, yeah, at this point they will have to worry about who you are and they will ask you to verify your identity.
Jesus.
You know what? Sure, you can come in and gamble, no problem. You keep on losing, no problem. But if you try to withdraw, especially a big amount, yeah, at this point I'm gonna have to make sure that you were allowed to gamble in the first place. And you're telling me this like it's a good thing? Hello? Now look at this other one. When I ask them for their KYC practices, he doesn't even know what KYC is. He's asking me if it's RTP or KPI, which are two separate things. But most importantly, KYC is like the most basic thing. Everyone knows what KYC is, especially...
Ó, rapaziada, pra quem não manja aqui, ó. Como filho da puta, não sabia. KC, Know Your Customer, saber seu consumidor. RTP, Return to Players, né, retornar para os jogadores. KPI, Key Performance Indicator, tá ligado? Tá tudo aí pra quem não sabe agora, pra saber o que ele tá falando sobre, né? O KC é, tipo, saber o seu customer, né? Quem tá aí, tipo, postando, saber a pessoa que tá postando, como ela é, idade, tudo, tipo, especificações, né? RG, tudo, nome, idade, o caralho a 4, pra não dar essa bosta, entendeu?
In work around gambling. This is the kind of self-regulation we have allowed to exist. This is the kind of brands and practices you are proudly endorsing and you put your faces next to their logo. Online gambling already exists within some kind of legal frame. You could promote some form of gambling which is regulated and legal. But why don't you? Because they don't pay nearly as much. That's simple. And one of the consequences on the business side of things is that you have ruined the party for everyone else. How many times have you heard that it is hard to find a sponsor for CSGO? Yeah, well, there's a reason. Legit brands have been pushed away from the market as a byproduct of this. Think of it this way. If you're getting paid 15,000 euro per video from a CSGO gambling website, and then you receive an offer which is 5 times less from something else, how much time will it take you to make the decision? Multiply this by thousands of creators and you have an inflated bubble where if you want to target the CSGO player base, you will have to pay 5 times the usual price. So if legit brands wanted to stay competitive, they would have to pay way too much for this to make sense, and eventually they went away one by one. And that's why over the last couple of years, this has been pandemonium.
A gamer, né, velho?
If licenses force you to verify the identity of the players at registration, it's game over for underage gambling. And as you're about to see, it is a real problem we are having in Counter-Strike.
That's
okay. 12% de 12 anos.
Totally. So, you have my permission.
Like, I didn't stop. It didn't matter if I won or lost. I just wanted to be happy. It sounds wrong, like, be happy. I want to be excited. You know, I was feeling...
Yeah.
But in a 12-year-old's mind, a knife is a knife, and like I have a big chance.
12 years old?
Yes. I was 12 when I got introduced to this.
Caralho.
My 12-year-old mind was like, there is so much bigger chance of winning on these websites than there is on CSGO. And that's where the trick goes, right? Because then I spend more money. One time I hit big, and then you know I just get dopamine in my brain. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta go again, and then it starts, then it's a cycle, and it keeps going, you know, and obviously you're gonna lose, but it's like you're chasing this dream. As a 12-year-old, you don't understand this, right? Like, you just want to win. You don't understand the economy, or...
When you were 12 years...
In Dinamarca, the 15 years olds and unders can work such hours a week. Michael worked at a fast food restaurant and spent the money in regulated CSGO gambling sites.
Right, like, you just want to win. You don't understand the economy, or...
When you were 12 years old, you were accessing those websites.
Yeah.
How did you access them?
.com. And then I logged in on Steam.
And at any point, were you ever asked about verification of your age or anything?
No.
Nothing.
No, I mean, like, obviously the small pop-up comes, then we just say yes. There's no verification, just like, are you 18? Yes.
I started gambling at 16, and in total, I've lost somewhere in between 10 to 14,000 in gambling over the past few years.
My name is Alexander.
Manny.
Maurice. Stefan.
Spencer.
Roxy.
I am 23 years old.
20 years old.
22 years old. 23 years old.
Meu mano perdeu de 10 a 14 mil dólares, cara. Ah! Nem eu que fazia vídeo perdi essa porra. Na verdade eu perdi um por aí, quando o árabe me escamou, mas... Puta que pariu. Ó! O Bu. There.
22. I am 22 years old.
I'm from Germany.
The United States.
The UK.
Sweden.
Texas.
Brazil.
And I started gambling when I was
Where is Brazil?
13, 14.
We need Brazil.
Started gambling when I was 13.
13 to 14 years old.
I was like 17.
Tipo eu.
14 or 15.
And in total, I've probably lost about £10,000 over the course of 7-8 years.
$600.
Ah, tá.
11 grand gambling.
1,000 euros, I think.
3 or 4,000, I'd say.
All I had was a Steam account, trade link, and that was it. I was ready.
It was mainly through content creators. Gambling via a third party was promised as you had better odds, was all I really cared about at that age. You would sign via Steam, but yeah, there was no verification.
When you are that young, you get a little bit money every month from your parents. So eventually I bought a knife. That's when it started. When you gamble, you want to win it back. That's what happened for me. I wanted to win back the money that I lost, so I kept going.
So I started around 15. On those websites, it took me 30 seconds to log in. Oh, use my promo code for an extra 5% or whatever. Use this for a free £3 credit. It all just makes you want to gamble more and more and more. It's just a cycle of just trapping you in.
Got
it. All right, so could you please explain like I'm 5? Because in our world in Counter-Strike, it's very normalized. And I would like to hear from someone who knows what he's talking about. What's the reason we forbid gambling to underage players? Meet Joel Billieux. He does a lot of things. He's a professor of clinical psychology and psychopathology at the University of Lausanne in Switzerland. He's also a researcher at the Center for Excessive Gambling in the same city. And for the last 10 years, he has been involved as an expert with the World Health Organization on public health implications of online addictive behaviors. He does even more than that, but this is what brings him here today.
Children and adolescents are vulnerable for several reasons. For example, they are less efficient in self-control, so in actively regulating their behaviors, increased difficulties in emotion regulations, meaning that they can experience emotion in a very intense manner, and it also compromises their self-control over their behaviors. And this can be relatively simply explained by several factors, but especially the fact that the brain is not maturated at those age. And so another factors that promote risky behaviors among young people is the influence of role model. And typically, streamers, people doing esport high level are role model for these young people and these adolescents. So it's a clear problem if these people are...
Não, mas calma aí. Aquele ali é o quê? O open case normal?
Streamers, people doing esport high level.
Tá, o streamer, beleza, calma aí.
Role model.
Ele pegou uma open case e abriu uma... Puta, aí ele vai pedir pra Valve parar de ter caixa, aí fudeu. Aí os caras tá querendo, aí fudeu.
For these young people and these adolescents. So it's a clear problem if these people are involved in gambling, in opening cases, because it will promote this behavior in these young people and these adolescents. So I am clearly convinced that there is a responsibility from the gaming community to not show this behavior and promote this behavior in young people.
If you grow up in the gaming world like I showed you, and then you have this normalized promotion for gambling, and you can even access it when you are young. So what kind of effect can we expect for the young ones?
If you are exposed to gambling through advertisement, through your family, through your gaming practice, a risk factor for developing problematic gaming patterns and even gambling disorder. So starting younger increase the risk of developing a real gambling disorder or a gambling addiction. So this is basically one of the reasons why in many jurisdictions advertisement for gambling is prohibited, the same way that it's done for alcohol or cigarettes.
That made me realize, when was the last time you have seen an ad for slot machines or roulette on TV? Advertisement of gambling and online gambling is under a lot of scrutiny, especially lately, and some countries have it totally banned. As a matter of fact, football is now at the center of this, and some things are changing here as well. As an example, in the Netherlands, gambling sponsorships won't be allowed to appear on camera starting in 2 years. And meanwhile, in the Counter-Strike world, we find the G2 releasing a news saying that CSGO role...
Netherlands?
In fact, football is now at the center of this, and some things are changing here as well. As an example, in the Netherlands, gambling sponsorships won't be allowed to appear on camera starting in 2 years. And meanwhile, in the...
No Brasil já tá, né? Aparecendo Blaze, essas porra, né?
Counter-Strike world, we find the G2 releasing a news saying that CSGO is a community skin trading and social gaming platform, with a comment from their CEO adding that they are excited to enable G2 fans to get a chance to earn rare skins they always dreamed of. Okay. Such a deceptive wording, but in reality, this is like saying you are excited to enable G2 fans to gamble, as if I was sponsored by a casino and I would say that I'm happy to give a chance to my viewers to earn a house. Yeah, that might be true for the 0.01% that will hit big, but what about the 99.99 others? Have you all lost your mind, or is it me that lost touch of reality?
Clearly, they function as slot machines, basically. In addition to all the aspects related to sound, music and stuff, which put a similar environment at what you can find in slot machine, the way they are designed is clearly similar. A typical example is the near misses. Basically, the symbol will defile in front of you, and you will see a lot of potentially very rare or epic skins. Like knife. The reel stopped just after these very rare items. It makes the people think as if they were very near to obtain.
Tá falando aqui, ó, básico.
We're gonna open one more case. Let's do this one.
Fudeu. Olha as caras, isso daí era pica. Nossa, daqui era pica. Nossa, a P90 era absurdo, mano. De cara.
Oh my god! Oh my god! No! No!
Those near misses.
Não, mano, o quê? Eu achava que isso não existia, velho. Nessa época tinha essa porra. Chance de a faca tá do lado e não vir. Eu lembro desse vídeo. Eu lembro. Eu acho que nessa época tinha esse bagulho. Eu não lembro, mano. Eu abri muita caixa, mas não lembro se isso aconteceu isso comigo, velho. Ó, porque tem um glitch, né? Ó, ele some, né? Que ainda tá se ajustando a caixa.
Så ser jag en kniv i fittan! Och får en sandstorm!
Razer Kraken, muito foda, velho.
No! No!
Mano, essa porra deve tá fake, velho. Ó, tá vendo que tem um azulzinho aqui, velho? Eu acho que essa porra é edição, mano. Eu nunca vi isso na minha vida no CS. Tá vendo esse azulzinho aqui, ó? Ó. Tá vendo essa porra aqui? Deve ser outra coisa, mano. Essa edição dos deuses. Mano, não é possível, velho. Eu nunca vi isso. Eu vi daquele jeito gritado, eu acho que do Anomaly. Talvez tá vindo na minha cabeça. Mas aqui, velho. Assim, mano. Que filho da putagem do caralho.
Oh my god.
Essas caixas eram caixas de esporte, mano. Nossa, mano, tá louco.
Oh my god! Oh my god! No!
Those near misses are interpreted by the brain as if it is a win, yet they are associated with feeling of frustration, anger, negative emotions, and they tend to promote then impulsive people impulsively play again. For near miss being efficient, you need a certain amount of them, generally around 30 to perhaps a bit more. So it's an additional element here that is used to promote impulsive gambling and loss of control, basically. There are also other strategies that are used, like loyalty program or daily cases. You can have these cases for free each day, which mean that you will come and connect every day for having those.
During my research, I've come across some rather funny stuff. There is a P-Hub video where before they well, you know, they get inside each other. You have an ad for one of these websites. Mind you, I'm gonna have to blur everything because it's, you know.
Cara, no Pornhub.
This video, I want to recommend you site for deposit.
No Pornhub? Ah, no.
2 seconds later.
But it was fun. I've also found some content creators from Valorant who co-stream some Valorant tournament games. And in between, you find them advertising.
Óbvio, mano. Ah, tá. Ele deixou passar aqui, ó. Valorant North America. Não, mas aí... Ah, não, mas aí que tá assistindo, aí fodeu. Ah, mano, Sentinels... Sei lá, os caras do Sentinel. Tem Zio, aquele cara lá que o brasileiro odeia. O Terry, que era do CS, também normal. Ele fez muito site de aposta, o Terry. Site open case.
CSGO websites, even though they don't play CSGO, or at least they don't do it on stream. What wasn't funny, however, is to find what seems to be a 14-year-old streamer sponsored by Keydrop. Keydrop is currently the one on top of my list with the most traffic, and with a young kid promoting them on Twitch, I would argue that it seems like their marketing practices are somewhat questionable. We are looking at a 14-year-old streamer advertising what seems to be a gambling website in front of a live audience with a promo code, as well as banners that look very, very similar to the one that other streamers are using when you endorse them. What kind of message is being sent there? That any kid watching him is also welcome? One might think that, allegedly, this is why you could have the most traffic. And even more, he didn't just have one of these websites, he had 4. And they are all on that list. Without any form of regulation, what else can you expect? Actually, I had a segment there where I showed you how some YouTubers promote it and why it's a very bad practice. But I've decided to remove it entirely because I'm afraid this would turn into a witch hunt. Instead, have a look at some clues coming from the UK Gambling Commission. There's a lot more, but here's a few. You cannot feature anyone gambling or playing a significant role in the ad if they are under 25 years old. If you're going to promote the website and you are less than 25, you cannot appear in the ad. So you cannot talk in the ad, and surely you cannot show yourself gambling during the ad. And there's many more rules. You cannot portray risky behaviors. So when you go, haha, I'm going degen XD lol moment, that would not be allowed either. And also, you cannot associate with youth culture. Some websites are running events. This one did a back to school event. I don't think I need to add anything to that. Kind of speaks for itself. Recently, Twiston, a 19-year-old pro player from Valorant, took his own life. The next day, as we had a CSGO tournament, the players held a minute of silence in honor of Twiston. And you will find clips of that on YouTube. So some guy took that clip, plugged his own gambling sponsor, and uploaded the thing on YouTube. This is unedited footage.
CSGO Roll. The coolest drop is only here. Try it now. Use code to get 5% bonus and free cases every day.
What?
As we pay our respects to Twiston, who...
Yo! No! No! Não! Que horror, que feio, cara. Nossa, mano, meu Deus, velho. Worth noting, I don't think the website itself gave the approval for this. It's most probably an affiliation type of deal where the creator gets a flat %, so they push the website everywhere and in the most unethical ways.
Who tragically passed away this week.
Caralho, que horror, mano. Hurry, grab it.
Now, let's recap everything.
Maior degenerado spawnado, velho. Caralho, o cara pegou o clipe dos caras, 1 minuto de silêncio por causa da morte do cara e o cara colocou o clipe e meteu uma... Caralho, cara, que degenerado, cara.
Now, let's recap everything we have learned. In Counter-Strike, 80% of the creators are promoting unregulated gambling websites. Pro players and esports organizations are promoting them as well, and even Faceit promoted some of these with a push-up that you cannot miss. It is advertised to everyone and portrayed as something fun, in total disregard of every gambling advertisement rules that exist. Twitch clearly says it is against their TOS, but does nothing. YouTube clearly says it is against their TOS, but does nothing, except when I talk about it saying that you shouldn't gamble, and Steam clearly says it is against their TOS, but does nothing either. The websites do not...
Mas a Steam não vai fazer, mesmo que deu aquela merda, não vai fazer porque dá muita grana pra eles, cara. Tipo assim, mas não tá indo, tipo... Mas não tá indo pra eles esse dinheiro, tem pelos caras, meu mano, mas é que os caras vão abrir mais caixa, velho. Pra ter skin nova, os caras continuam lançando caixa, vai ficar, mano, os caras vão ficar abrindo infinito, pô. Foda-se, mano.
Any form of regulation that would be
o dinheiro do site é o dinheiro dos sites agora, foda-se.
Standard in every country, and
os mercados da Steam mexem de um jeito bizarro, pô.
By being unregulated, they are accessible to everyone.
E graças a esse bagulho, mano, jogos como, não sei se o PUBG ainda tem, mas jogos que tem, tipo, esses bagulho de valor de skins no mercado, na Steam, velho, tipo, movimenta muito mais o mercado da Steam por causa dessa porra do CSGO, tá ligado?
Including the young ones.
Óbvio que eles vão ficar fingindo que não estão olhando, mesmo falando que dá TOS, que dá, tipo, que tá no TOS, tá no termos de serviço, os caras vão continuar ainda meio que ignorando, velho, foda-se.
Which is convenient, because they are also
e vai ficar até, vai continuar, eu acho,
It has been going on
não sei,
for
mano.
10 years. And
eu não acho que a Valve vai chegar e vai parar com open case e parar de poder, você não vai poder mais trocar skin, eu duvido. Papo reto.
One cares. Hey, welcome to Counter-Strike. I can't wait for CS2. So whose fault is it and who should we be mad at? Well, everyone. This video is essentially a career suicide for me because I'm going to trash everyone because everyone is doing trashy stuff. If you're looking for a single answer to that question, you're kind of wrong. It's a little bit of everybody's fault. You could blame the parents for not monitoring what their kids are doing online. But think of it this way, unless you stay behind the kid 24/7, you will not be able to control that. If you give him money for his birthdays or whatever, he can buy gift cards in physical stores and redeem them on the websites. If you're buying him games on Steam, he could ask for a refund to the Steam wallet and then you wouldn't know anything about it. Considering how easy they are to access and how many role models are promoting them, you won't be able to prevent your kid from accessing those websites unless you stay behind him 24/7. In fact, I would gamble that most of the parents are unaware that gambling is such a relevant topic for CSGO. Valve, YouTubers, streamers, pro players, websites, Faceit, esport organizations, essentially the whole industry, but also YouTube and Twitch. When 80% of the CSGO category shits on your TOS and you do nothing about it, what's the point of having the TOS in the first place? You are all complicit at some level, whether by promoting it, enabling it, and directly making profit from it, or by closing your eyes and remaining quiet about it. You might have noticed I haven't talked about Valve too much. That's because they deserve their own chapter, which will come in the part 2 of this documentary, I guess. Like I said, the situation is pretty bad and there's a lot more to talk about.
Nossa, da Valve deve ser grande demais, mano. Vai ser mais uma hora de live de conteúdo.
As I find his reaction quite revealing. Stay tuned for the part 2 and obviously posture check. Do you feel some kind of pull nowadays when you're watching content?
Yes, of course you can't get people away from gambling, right? But you should at least make it so that it is 100% under 18 secure. So many kids are watching this, aspiring to be a pro player. Is used to use pro players as a way to sell their cases. Yes, exactly that. Okay. I know this one, by the way. I think
you seem to have like a resentment towards the CSGO websites for allowing you to go there while you are underage. Do you feel the same about Valve for allowing you to open CSGO cases?
See, now that's a good question, because you don't really feel the same, do you? Like, really, I resent the websites more because they don't require an age tick, but then again, so do Valve.
You have opened $4,100 total in CSGO cases on Valve platform. Have you ever been asked for age verification or any kind of process to verify that you are of age?
No, I have not, and that's why it's it's a very good point that you're making, that why would I only resend the websites when Valve themselves also, like, how much money is it that they earn?
In the month of March, they have made 100 million estimated on CSGO cases.
Some of those money were probably mine. Bastards. But like, it looks more harmless opening just one case. But you can see me again. I opened just one case. But then like, look how much money that I've lost.
Quantos minutos é o outro? Já saiu já? Ah, nem fudendo. Não. 50 minutos! Não, agora a gente vai esperar, velho. Não. Jesus! Já comentei muito nesse vídeo. Foi horas aqui conversando essa porra, velho. Senhor bagulho de CS aqui da própria Valve fudeu. Eu vou abrir agora entrar em vídeo meu mostrando eu abrindo caixa, tentando pegar faca.